All right, so hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We worked with South by Southwest EDU during this fellowship. So here you're gonna definitely get an overview of just what we did, just the value we added to it, any type of shifts in perspectives that we've had, and recommendations kind of moving forward. So we are very much looking forward to speaking with you all. And we are going to start by introducing me and my fellows. So, first up is me. I am Kiara Williams. I am officially, as of 2 weeks ago, an alumna of Georgia State University. Woo, graduation. I majored in human learning and development. Coming into this fellowship, my interests were definitely like diversity in education, working with multilingual populations. I did a lot of heritage learner research in university as well. So that was kind of the mindset I was coming in when I started this, but I learned definitely a lot. So the rest of my team is also going to introduce themselves.
What's up, everybody? So my name is Mark Lannaman. I also went to Georgia State University with Kiara and majored in journalism. So my background was just in education specifically. I'm a journalism major, so it wasn't specifically in education, but I always loved gaining new perspectives on different things. And education is one of the things I like to focus a lot of my journalistic pursuits on, because I think it's so important. It's the foundation for so many different things. So of course, I was really excited to get this fellowship with Every Learn Everywhere, and especially work with South by Southwest EDU.
Hello, everyone. My name is Asia Almarales. I am a Valencia College alumna. I just graduated as well, and as well from Lake Nona High School. Graduated from both, and I'm attending now the University of Miami. I'm a biology major, and I'm also pre-medicine track, so way off track from education, but has also led to my great interest within ELE just because of my interest in STEM, clinical research, healthcare, and just future academia as well, and teaching and education. So just being able to know more about it and how it's broadcasted to communities and with students and teachers is just really interesting to me. So I'm just really grateful to be able to have the opportunity to be able to learn as I'm in ELE and South by Southwest.
Yo, how y'all doing? My name is Timmy Thongkham. I am a rising senior at Morehouse College. I'm a cinema, television, and emerging media majors, or studies major, excuse me. And with Every Learner Everywhere, I really was intrigued with the principle of equity and inclusivity, because in the film industry, there's not a lot of that. So it's very important that we share and be transparent with these stories that we tell and put on the screens, because media has a very strong influence on us. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our project work. So we both got to attend the South by Southwest EDU and the regular South by Southwest conference, and we got to basically just compare them, as South by Southwest EDU is just a branch of the South by Southwest conference. And we got to engage in multiple conferences and view multiple videos. With the EDU side, we got to engage in conversations that included equity for everyone, women in STEM, and just a lot of different topics that we're really able to see in the education field. And so we really also got to gain a lot on how to create a conference and what all goes behind it, like behind the scenes. So with this little pie chart in front of us, we really just get to see the demographics of the South by Southwest EDU conference. And really just enjoyed being able to work with Greg and Ron in this process, because they're amazing leaders, as well as their team, for creating such a big conference. And to get these type of numbers is really amazing.
So for our shifts in perspective was mainly focused on conference logistics, as right here, as you can see within this demonstration, just with our shift in perspective on how we thought about the conferences and really just how it's organized, like whether it was through social media or whether it was just through having the teams to make sure that things run smoothly and on time, and making sure that you're able to have the designated topics and everything. But to have that chance to be able to attend those conferences, it really changed our perspective in seeing just how complex South by Southwest EDU and South by Southwest manage their conferences, and how just by having their programming, marketing, networking, and their pricing, like having their specific teams to be able to make it run has also been an eye-opener. And just being able to see just how collaborative the work has to be in order to make everything work and to make sure that they're really spreading what they want to be able to appeal to teachers, students, just their overall viewers.
Yep. In addition to conference logistics, because of course that was a main part of it, right? Just seeing all the moving pieces of what it takes to throw on this educational conference. We also, I mean, I know as far as like moving more broader to the network shifts and perspectives, we got to engage in like a lot of conversations with different leaders, you know, within higher ed. I know me personally, I got to serve on like panels alongside really amazing leaders. And that also came with a shift in perspective. Because for me, you know, talking about certain higher ed issues, you know, I only have that student perspective, right? Like we want to see something, it's not happening, and we're kind of wondering why it's not happening. But engaging in conversations with these leaders in higher ed forced me to kind of step out of that student mindset and realize, you know, okay, well, maybe certain thing is not happening because financially it's not feasible, or just realistically with, you know, a college, it's just not possible. So it really did shift my mindset from not only thinking about like, you know, that limited student view to like an overall just reaching higher ed mindset, looking down on, you know, how these institutions operate. So there was just many shifts and, you know, forcing us to step out of mindsets, and also the people that we got to speak to, you know, the leaders, our team, South by Southwest EDU. I think we all were pushed to step out of those shoes that we've just been in for so long, just to learn a lot on both sides, you know, whether it be a student or a professional. So definitely some good changes as far as what we came in with.
So for value, I'd like to think that we got as much value out of it as our team did as well at South by Southwest EDU. So we were able to network with media professionals and offer perspectives in education. And so we think that's really important because, like, for example, I'm in journalism and media surrounding fields. Timmy is in media and things like that. Kiara, education, Asia, STEM majors. So we were able to network with a lot of people from a lot of professions and really just offer our own unique perspectives, because everyone, you know, has their own unique perspectives. And as students, you know, I think it was a great opportunity for us to be able to say how school has been for us and what things are important in education to us, and also learning like what are the things that educators are looking at and how they're looking at affecting changes in their workplace. We were able to see a lot of the work that needs to be done, but also see how change is happening. So, you know, a lot of times we're looking for this change, we're looking for equity. So it's really nice to see how it's kind of being personified, you know, in real ways, digital learning and things like that. And we are also, I think one of the biggest things we were able to, one of our biggest values to the South by Southwest EDU team was giving our perspective and feedback directly to the marketing and programming teams. So we had, as Kiara mentioned, separate conversations with many of the professionals, part of the organization. And we think that was really valuable because we just experienced both of their conferences like weeks before, especially in this time where their conference looked very different than it normally does. You know, usually they're used to thousands of people coming to Austin, whereas now it was solely online for this year. And so we were able to talk about a lot of the benefits, you know, like it's more accessible to people. It was easier to work with schedules when, you know, you're able to do it from your room versus flying to Austin, of course. And then we're also talking about the cons, like at the same time, while digital platform is really good and accessible for people, it's a lot of people, you know, are looking for that face-to-face interaction. Of course, after the year we've had, people are looking to get out and be amongst other people and really shake hands. So there were definitely a lot of pros and cons. If you see the two screenshots attached, it might be a little hard to see. The top one is kind of an example of some of the layout that they had. So you could see everybody that was attending the conference, network with them in that way. You'd be able to kind of add them as a friend, almost like social media. send them a little chat. So I made a ton of connections that way. I'm really grateful for. One of the ones down there is called Bulletproof. That was a documentary that I was able to attend. And then I was also able to go into a Zoom session right after. And it was capped off at 100 people and just talk to different educators. And I was one of the only students in that session. So they really valued my opinion. And they really valued a lot of the other fellows as well. And we were able to just kind of share what we thought about the documentary. And it was a great thing for me personally, because as I mentioned, I'm in journalism, so documentaries is something that I do. But overall, we think we were able to give a lot of good feedback to both the marketing and social media teams, talking about things like, you know, maybe expanding the social media influence, like the things like TikTok, different ways to reach people on Instagram. And then, of course, one of the marketing things we had as an idea was reaching out to different universities and having them kind of nominate some of their best students in certain fields, and then they kind of get like a voucher to go to the program. So just a lot of brainstorming was going on. And to kind of wrap it all up in a bow before I talk everyone's heads off, I think it was just really cool to give that real-time feedback and something that was new for pretty much everybody. And so we can take the good and the bad and keep moving forward.
All right. So as far as recommendations go, I mean, every learner everywhere did an amazing job of really, truly using us to our full potential, incorporating us in many events and just different discussions and whatnot. But you got to keep doing that, right? Like the whole point was so we could be useful to people, so we could learn, of course, but it was like a two-way street. So, of course, creating and delegating tasks for student fellows in any given project team would be amazing as far as giving students experience and a chance to speak their voice. Inviting students to the table is always important, whether it be discussions, panels, conferences. You know, a lot of what educators do are for students. And just like when you come out with a new toy and it's for babies, of course, you're going to have babies play with that toy to see if it's actually likable. It's kind of the same thing. So inviting students to the table and really just proactively just asking students for their input, for their feedback to make things better, to make things just make the experience overall for students better by asking them directly, you know, how they feel about certain things. And when it comes to different events, you know, for example, South by Southwest EDU, they really analyze their data to see their areas of opportunity or areas where they would want to grow in. And that's always a good step in just making anything better. Is they saw that they wanted more student engagement. And here we were as fellows just making sure that we provide honest and critical feedback for them to just expand and grow their student sector, as you saw in the pie graph earlier. So there's just a lot of things that can be done that should be continued to do moving forward. And yeah, it was definitely a good time. So now we are open to any questions. If there's any questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat, ask them out loud. I think the film might be inaccessible at this point. I'm not sure. Ron, Greg, can they watch that film? Oh, let's see. What are the most surprising things you learned from this experience? Surprising things. I honestly, team, feel free to jump in. For me, it was definitely just all the moving aspects of a conference, because I've been to many conferences, but I know that when things go wrong, it's kind of like a big freak out moment, but you got to handle it with grace. So I think the conference building part was the most surprising to me.
I would definitely have to agree, because it's like we partake in so many events that we never really just see what's going on behind the scenes until you're actually behind the scenes. Then you see, oh, what's going on? This needs to happen, then that needs to happen. This needs to happen for this to happen. So it's just a lot, like she said, moving parts and a team working together.
All right, let's see. The most valuable aspect of South by Southwest that you think you can use in the future? What would y'all say? Asia, Mark?
That is a tough one. Oh, I'm sorry, Asia, were you saying something?
No, I'll just say just to be able just to emphasize student voice overall. I think that can be applied to anything that you want to advocate for, especially towards students, towards future voices and everything like that. So definitely with South by Southwest, I think it was great to be able to have the emphasis on education, especially with educators, but also as well for students. I think that was an eye opener for me as well, just to realize that students do have just as an importance when it comes to voice and everything for future reference.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that any better. So +1 to Asia. I see another one that says, do you plan to attend South by Southwest in the future? I can't speak for all of us. I know I definitely plan to attend, especially seeing everything that goes on in the background. I think that would be a pretty cool experience. And like I said, I really loved it networking with so many professionals.
I've told Ron and Greg this. I love Austin, Texas. So look, moving forward, you will definitely see me at South by Southwest, EDU, regular South by Southwest, you name it. There was another question. What was most helpful in preparing you to be a part of a panel? What helped you? What did you wish you would have known or had for support? I think the most helpful preparation was probably that pre-planning call that we had, just so we can lay out what we were going to discuss, really just figuring out who was going to speak on what topic, and just meeting the team beforehand, I suppose. I think I had a lot of support throughout the process. There wasn't anything that I wish I have known. I feel I've been a part of panels before, so it wasn't really anything new, but the support that I had especially with WCET, it was very smooth, very fun, and I really loved talking with everyone. But we had another question. How did this inform your thinking about what you want to do more of in your career moving forward, and equally important, less of in your career? Do any of y'all want to speak to that one?
I'll go ahead and take that one. So for me, I want to become a film colorist, and essentially that's just editing the films in the film industry that we see on Netflix, HBO Max, and all of that. And so that really just is not just a solo job. It's really all a team effort. And really with this ELE Fellows by Southwest, it really just emphasized that teamwork even more, only because again, everything is a moving part and one part cannot move without another part moving. So it's really important to understand that teamwork does make the dream work. And really that part as well that's what I really focus more on, because of that's not really in the career field of me just sitting in an office and just being on the computer coloring by myself and all that. It's just more so of being, okay, do you need help with this? Can I help with this? Oh, you need help with that? Let's go help with that, So I was really just excited and thankful that I was able to sit down and just talk to a bunch of like-minded people and really get this team going.
Awesome. And we had a final question. Let's see, based on your experiences and the insights you gathered, what are the things or one thing you might extend as recommendations for the larger ELE group to keep in mind, to prioritize, et cetera, for our work moving forward? Honestly, the main thing will always be just inviting students to the table. Just really asking them, everything that educators do are really for the students ultimately. So you just got to keep including them in those conversations, and really just emphasize their voices, especially because some students don't have the power to really put themselves out there. And it will be the duty of the professional, of the educator, to kind of help just not necessarily put on a pedestal, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, just to really put their voices out there, especially if they can't do it themselves. So that would probably be the most important thing, is just the continuous including of students, and different perspectives of students, right? Because students are not singular. They all have different backgrounds, different interests, different just aspects to their own learning. So you got to diversify your student selection and really keep including them. So that would probably be my most important recommendation. And I think we are good on time. So thank you everyone for your questions. Thank you ELE for inviting us. Thank you South by Southwest EDU for kind of guiding us along the way. We appreciate it. And we are always open to future collaboration. So thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ron and Greg, and everybody for being